Thanks so much for tuning in. So excited to have Austin on the show today from the Wellness Lounge. We talk all about things you can do outside of, just going to the gym to live that healthy lifestyle. Chiropractic, acupuncture, yoga, and so much more. Let's check it out. Thanks so much for tuning into Waz Up San Diego. Today we're here at beautiful Water Bar in Pacific Beach, and I'm joined by Austin Abbruscato.
Hello.
From the Wellness Lounge right in Mission Bay.
Yeah, a few miles away.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about the Wellness Center. One of the trends, we were kind of talking a little bit off camera, is just everybody's really looking for that one-stop shop right now. They want to have one place to go for kind of all their needs. And tell me a little bit about how you guys are kind of solving that problem for people.
So we're a whole integrative wellness center. Okay. I'm a chiropractor, but we've got acupuncture, a naturopathic doctor, massage, of course, and a full yoga studio. We've got yoga and Pilates out on the water if you want a little challenge in your balance, open air, you get to be in nature. And then soon we're going to add the beauty element in with an esthetician, so facials, lashes, stuff like that.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of chatting about this earlier too as well, like chiropractic and acupuncture, and why is that so important for people to do? A lot of people just, hey, I'm gonna go see a chiropractor once I'm injured or I get an injury and then they go do it. I've had a lot of friends who've had sports injuries and, okay, now I see a chiropractor once every week or once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But, as I'm doing my own due diligence and reading more and more, it's more that preventive maintenance.
Exactly.
And is that kind of happening more and more, or how?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So unfortunately, most people do figure this out by getting injured.
Yes.
And you can definitely recover from an injury with acupuncture and chiropractic. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And you're able to do that and get out of pain without putting any really harmful substances into your body that's going to affect, the way you're thinking, make you groggy, things like that. But yeah, so chiropractic and acupuncture are great square one.
Okay.
It's looking at the cause of the issue that's causing you pain instead of just masking the pain.
Gotcha.
And as far as preventative care goes, had these people with injuries gone once a week, once a month, changed any bad habits that maybe the chiropractor or the acupuncture had identified, hopefully, probably, maybe that injury wouldn't have happened in the first place.
What are some of those bad habits? Because I know personally, I'm driving in a car a lot. I'm behind a desk a lot. I am on my feet, with clients on a daily basis and moving. And I have several kids, so I'm chasing them around the house or chasing them around the park. But as a whole, I wake up, I go to my office. A lot of people are just doing emails and then they're in traffic for several hours. I'm sure that is a big problem.
Exactly. So we get into our routines, and when we don't do anything to balance those mm-hmm. routine things, our body comes into this different shape. We're forward, we're slouched, mm-hmm. and now it's creating unnecessary strain on the neck, which is going to cause headaches. So as a chiropractor, my first go-to is always postural. Gotcha. So where is your head sitting over your shoulders? Are you arching your low back too much?
How's my posture right now?
Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. But yeah, I think that people underestimate the power of posture. When you are sitting up straight, now all of a sudden you can take a deeper breath. When you can take a deeper breath, now the functions in your body are going to be working more efficiently. Mm-hmm. So it's just such a simple step to change a lot.
It's true, and even health-wise, for just mental purposes-wise too, sometimes you got to make a call that you're not really excited about, and when you're hunched over in this position, it's versus when you're just standing up in confidence and just open everything up, and you look more, I don't want to say more important, but look more confident. And so for health reasons for that, but just as a mental practice too as well.
There's so many studies that are coming out right now about how your posture and how body language affects mm-hmm. the way that you're thinking. It's a two-way street. So when you start thinking positively, you'll notice that you sit up straight. And if that part's too hard, because sometimes it is, fake it till you make it, like totally works in this situation. When you start sitting up straight and you start smiling and you start interacting with people, it creates new neural pathways in your body. It changes the way your brain chemistry is.
It's so true, and I love how you kind of touched on that neural pathways, because it is. It's not going to be something that's overnight, but you have to have kind of something that's like, hey, sit up, get up,
Yeah.
and as you do it more and more, it just becomes easier and easier to do.
Exactly.
So
More
that is
natural.
amazing. So acupuncture too as well. That is another thing that I've never done. Like, what are excuse me, some of the main benefits of acupuncture, and combining that with chiropractic work as well.
So chiropractic and acupuncture complement each other.
They kind of go hand in hand, right?
Amazingly,
Okay.
yes. So that's why I love working with acupuncturists at both of my offices. We can co-manage patients together. It's funny because a patient will tell me something, a little box of information, and they'll tell the acupuncturist this other little box of information.
It's two separate things?
Two separate things, and it's like, oh, okay, so now you have all of the pieces of the puzzle put together.
Collaborate, this is what we need to treat both sides of the symptoms.
And it's nice being in the same office, because someone can see a chiropractor and they can see an acupuncturist, but if they're at different locations and they're not communicating, the patient's still going to see benefits, but it just adds a whole nother level when the two doctors can work together.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer to have one location to go to have both of them talking on the back end, and then when you're tying in kind of like the yoga and some of the other things that you're doing, it sounds amazing.
It's a whole mind, body, spirit,
Yes.
holistic connection.
And it's funny, I was telling you a story earlier about how I started kind of dabbling. Actually, it was last year, one of my goals was to be able to touch my toes, because I've never been able to touch my toes.
And?
Remember, I accomplished it. I got off the train when I had more kids and didn't have as much time for yoga, so I want. And I'm going to go back on it, because this is kind of like, hey, get back on it, get doing it, because it was always kind of my legs. And I remember in high school, putting my legs out and how you had to stretch over that box, and I was like always one of the worst ones. I'm like, my arms are so long though, like how can I not reach farther than that?
Yeah.
But how does kind of all of those things tie in together? And so do you kind of have a package to where somebody comes in and goes chiropractic and then straight to acupuncture and does yoga the same day, or how does that work?
Yes, we have a service called the Trifecta, and that is massage, chiropractic, and acupuncture. I mentioned earlier that we're a very integrative clinic, so a lot of us do multiple things. So I'm a chiropractor, but we have a service called a chiropressage, where I will perform like a 30, 45-minute massage, or it feels like a massage to you, but behind the scenes,
Is that the soft tissue that you're talking about?
So I'm working on any super stubborn joints that maybe didn't move during the adjustment, or any specific areas that we need to use. But you're on the massage table with hot packs. It's very relaxing. So
I already like vision myself there.
yeah, so it's now you're getting that mental element into it, and yes, you're getting treated, but you're getting treated more wholly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so when you're saying soft tissue on the joint, so it's like the hip, an example of that. Like I'm just talking to me personally, so I can kind of relate it. Like my hips have always been even when I would go get massages, they would kind of like do my legs, like, you have really stiff hips.
Yeah.
I want you to come in X amount of times to do it. I'm like, I would love to come in once a week. Like, don't get me wrong. I could schedule it once a month, and I'm lucky. But if I was able to go to one place kind of for all of it, that would make it very, very easy. But so how does that soft tissue kind of loosen up those joints? How does that work?
So your joints are covered by different muscles, right? The muscles are crossing those joints so that those ligaments, those tendons, when they're activated, it's pulling your hip up or extending your hip back.
Okay.
When we're sitting like this for 8 to 10 hours a day, right? These hip flexors are going to be really, really tight. Your hamstrings are going to feel tight, but in actuality, they're a little bit stretched out.
So tell me a little bit how kind of the soft tissue chiropractic massage / chiropractic work kind of loosens up those joints and gets everything more flexibility, et cetera.
Yeah. So straight chiropractic, we're working with the joints to improve the nervous system. But if a person's really tight, or they're not going to do the homework that you prescribe to them at home, like the extra stretches and the exercises, their problems are just going to come back.
Okay.
So the soft tissue work is almost kind of like me helping them out with their homework, like their soft tissue tutor.
Gotcha.
So releasing those tight muscles is going to help there's always like an agonist and an antagonist, right? So if this side's really tight, this side's probably really stretched out. Mm-hmm. So loosening this side is going to bring the shoulder back, and now the pain that you're feeling behind you isn't going to be there because those muscles aren't being overstressed.
Gotcha. And I know that's kind of a big problem with men in general who are working out. They spend a lot of time on their front deltoids but never get the back. Mm-hmm. So it's automatically, I'm assuming, pulling you in that kind of forward position.
And that's where rotator cuff injuries come in, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it really is kind of finding that balance. And even people who are super healthy and go to the gym every day, a lot of times they have this routine. It's, I'm talking from a man's perspective right now, going and you're bench pressing and you're going and you're doing your dumbbells and you're doing all these certain things, but it's the same motions and it's leaving all these other small, tiny helper muscles out of the picture. And so that sounds like part of the cost too as well.
Yep. So I have a huge background in rehabilitative exercise.
Okay.
And that's not just for people who suffered from injuries. It's not just from people who just came out of surgery. It's really for anybody. A person who's doing the same workout in the gym all the time and they're coming to me with pain, there's probably some sort of imbalance, just like you said. So figuring out where that imbalance is, which side it's on, and just giving them a couple corrective exercises. I'm not changing their routine. I'm not changing their workout style. I'm just aiding in making it more whole.
Gotcha. And so is there a tip or two that you would recommend for the majority of the population of things that they can be doing on a daily basis to implement that are very simple to kind of help that too as well?
Square your hips.
Square your hips.
Square your hips.
Interesting.
So I don't know if everyone, next time you're just standing there, standing there having a conversation with someone, pay attention to your weight distribution between your 2 feet. Are you kicking one hip out? Is all of your weight on your left leg? I say that's where a huge population of people with low back pain comes from.
See, I never thought about that, but when you say that, I'm obviously doing something like that because my right is so much less flexible than my left. And it's because I have to be sitting in a certain direction, or I'm like on the desk a lot, or I'm using this hand. I don't know what it is, but
so your right side's probably really, really strong.
Yeah.
But it's lacking that mobility, which might end up causing pain.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I know you have an event coming up in March, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
So the Wellness Lounge is hosting its first wellness retreat.
Awesome.
We have a partnership with the Hyatt Mission Bay. So like a nice little room block over there. That is a beautiful hotel. I don't know if you've ever gotten to walk around.
Yes. I've gone to a couple seminars. We've had our company events there before. It is amazing.
Yeah. So we're in the same little Quivira basin as they are. It's like a 5 to 10 minute walk just around the beautiful little harbor, cove, basin. There we go. But it's going to be it's called Lounge Well, Live Well. And the theme I came up with is you're lounging the whole first day. Mm-hmm. You are getting body work. You get to go on a Duffy boat cruise, yoga, basically just a very chill, relaxed, nourishing day. Yep. And then the next day we're getting you out. We're going out on paddle boards. We're going to go hiking. We are going to go see more of San Diego.
Very
active, seeing how much better you can live after giving yourself a little bit of lounge time.
Yeah. And it's great for people to know that you can get exercise without just going to the gym too as well. Going out and getting on that paddleboard, it's tough. First time I did it, the stability muscles that are in there, and those are those little muscles that you don't get when you're just doing leg presses, I'm sure.
Exactly.
And the balancing, it's pretty incredible.
How did you do on the paddleboard?
I killed it. It was a rough start, but as I kind of spent more and more time on it, got more comfortable, and it was a little awkward getting on it the very first time because I used to live right down in Crown Point. And,
oh, perfect.
My neighbor had an awesome paddleboard.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to come with me? And I was like, and then one day we did it, and it was amazing.
I think that's one of my favorite things about paddleboarding is getting the people out there who would be scared. And even just after a 90-minute class, everyone who started out on their knees is just up on their feet, going for it.
Yeah, and I've seen people doing yoga on paddleboards.
Oh, we do that.
That's incredible. Yeah. Oh, it's funny because we actually had Stefan on the show. He's the owner of Tower Paddleboards, which is right down by the Mission Bay Aquatic Center too as well. And I know, yeah, now they're doing e-bikes, but I would love to kind of hop out on one of those things, do some yoga. It's kind of two birds, one stone at the same time. So,
yeah.
And if somebody wanted to sign up for the lounge and what do you name?
Lounge Well, Live Well Wellness Retreat.
Awesome. And it's March?
It is March 6th through the 9th. Sorry. It's March 6th through the 9th. Mostly the 7th and the 8th. The 6th is going to be like a nice meet and greet over at the Hyatt, get to know your staff for the weekend, schedule everybody. And then on Monday morning, there'll be a yoga class in the morning before you check out at the Hyatt.
Nice.
But most of the activities will be on Saturday and Sunday.
Perfect. And if they wanted to sign up, just go to wellnesslounge.com or?
Wellnessloungesd.com.
Okay.
We also have an Eventbrite. You can search Lounge Well, Live Well. Our Instagram, our Facebook, we have many opportunities for you to find it.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much. And just before I let you go too, are there any, you mentioned you went to San Diego State, you're, been very ingrained in this San Diego culture. What are some of your favorite places to go and eat as well?
Ooh, the eating is a loaded question. So many places.
Yes.
I currently live in Bankers Hill,
Okay.
so Little Italy is
So
a favorite.
much fun. Yeah.
All of the consortium holding restaurants are like awesome.
Mm-hmm. Salt and straw. I have an ice cream addiction too as well. Like salt and straw.
They get you with those cones.
It's ridiculous. And the line is every single time it's out the door. But yeah.
Yeah. But I guess if I'm being a wellness professional and my favorite healthy places.
There you go.
I just went, it's brand new. It's in North Park. It's called The Village. It's a vegan restaurant, but they have a jackfruit chimichanga.
What?
That was the best jackfruit burrito I've ever had.
Wow, that sounds amazing. My brother-in-law is vegan, and I'm going to take him out there. And that'll be a perfect little spot for us to go. The jackfruit chimichanga.
Yeah.
Sounds so counterintuitive because when I think chimichanga, I'm like shredded beef with like cheese.
It looks like shredded beef though. The texture is on point, the flavors are on point. They did a good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible. Definitely going to check that out. And please, if you have any questions, check out wellnessloungesd.com.
Yes.
Come to the event, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for tuning into Waz Up San Diego. So grateful to have Austin on the show today. Make sure you check out her event coming up in March, wellnessloungesd.com, or check out their Instagram, wellnesslounge_Mission Bay. I will see you next week, and if you have any recommendations for some guests, feel free to shoot me an email at wazupsandiego@gmail.com.